Hi there, it's November the 11th. We're continuing our journey through the letter to the Hebrews. We're in chapter 10 and we're reading the balance of the chapter from verses 18 through to verse 39, the end of the chapter. The writer has been presenting the amazing sacrifice of Jesus, the way that it has dealt once and for all with the question of sin and sacrificed for us. And now the response in this reading, at the beginning of our reading, the writer says, so we have confidence because of this new and living way that's been opened for us in the blood of Christ. We have confidence, full confidence, to come into the very throne room of God and to worship him and to praise him. We can come assured in our faith. We can come free from sin because our hearts are cleansed by his blood and our bodies are presented as clean and holy before him. What an amazing opportunity. And so he then encourages his readers to continue in the confession that they have, to continue in the faith that they have, to continue in their love and their good works. And in fact, because of that, they're encouraged to continue meeting together, to push through, to continue to worship together, not to leave off gathering together as some have done. He said there seems to be some discouragement around. There seems to have been some pressure not to meet. He's saying don't be put off because of this access we have to Jesus. Let's continue to gather. There's something about the coming together of the people of God. When they gather, when they meet together, and when they worship, they encourage one another, they bless God, and they release the power of God. And then there's kind of a warning or a caution that's brought by the writer here, and he says that we mustn't backtrack, we mustn't go back on what we've said. If we go back into sin, if we slip back into going back to our old ways, how are we going to renew the sacrifice? There's no further sacrifice of sin because Jesus has done it once and for all. And so actually, just as in the law there was provision for the judgment, so we must be aware that there is a final analysis to be had. There is a place of sifting that would come to his people, and we have to be careful and realize, and this very sobering word that the writer speaks, that it is a fearful thing, it's a terrifying thing to fall into the hands of the living God. But he's then encouraging them to go back to the original faith that they had, to their faithfulness, because the faith he's talking about here isn't just a mental assent. It's not believing something is a fact, but actually it's entrusting ourselves to it. So it's also the faithfulness to that belief, to that giving ourselves to God. And he quotes at the end of this reading Habakkuk chapter 2, where he says, the just, the righteous, the one who's been made right, will continue to live by their faithfulness, is what it means, by their faith. And he's going to go on in the next chapter to look at the whole history, the whole hall of fame of heroes of faith, and he's going to say what faith looks like. But we're called to maintain and to hold on to God with patience in that faith. He says, after all, that his readers have stuck fast through persecution, through difficulties, even through prison, and he's encouraging them to continue in that faith, even when the going gets tough or gets difficult. We know that we have this way through to Jesus now. We have this way of access, and even though there are things that come against us, even though there are trials, even though there are difficulties, we're encouraged to keep faithful to God, keep pushing on, keep living on, because we have this amazing opportunity to know God in our lives through his grace. Have a very good November the 11th.